She, oh yes, we're going to record. So thank you. Um, if you're just joining us, we celebrated almost everyone. So everyone is adding VIPs. Now, we are going to hear tonight from Dana. She is a friend of mine and she used to live here on Oahu. She doesn't anymore, but she just got off of a reset. So she's going to talk a little bit about that and something she discovered when she saw a testimony and realized, oh my gosh, I'm having a benefit from this that I didn't realize was connected. So I will leave you with that mystery. And Dana, you can unmute yourself and kind of share your story with Plexus so far.
Okay. I'm super nervous. I don't know why, but it's a lot to think about. So, last year was a really, really rough year for me. I was sick a lot, and I'm not normally a person who's sick a lot. And so it was really frustrating. I'm natural minded, so I don't like to go to the doctor. I don't like to get on medication. But in March of last year, I ended up with a severe UTI and I didn't have a choice but to go on an antibiotic. So I did that. And then my husband and I were going on a cruise for our anniversary in September, and we were going to be traveling for a couple of weeks. And I had had constant sinus infections since I did that antibiotic. And so I decided to go ahead and take another antibiotic to get rid of the sinus infection. We went on our trip and I was fine. And then I ended up getting home and having another sinus infection and more antibiotics. So from March until October, I'd done 3 antibiotics and I was miserable. And from October to December, I still had several more sinus infections. And I just felt like there's no way my body can make this much mucus, but it did. And then January rolled around and I basically sat down in my recliner and didn't move again until the end of March. And I watched TV all day long. I binge watched a show, and I don't binge watch TV. I mean, I rarely watch television except at night with my husband, but it's all I was doing was just watching TV, and I was just tired all the time. I'd wake up tired. I just was absolutely worn out, constantly having to blow my nose, just felt awful. And I had so many things I wanted to do, and I couldn't get anything accomplished. So in March, Julie reached out to me and said, and I bought Plexus items over the last several years, several different times. So I had experience with it. And Julie suggested that I order something because there was a coupon, I think is what it was. And so I told her that was a great idea, except that I had a whole closet full of stuff and I just really didn't know how to take any of it or what to do with it. So I took a picture of everything I had, which was quite a collection of Plexus stuff. And I said, I have all this stuff, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to take it, when to take it, what to take, all of that. And I'd love for this to work for me, because on top of all of that, I'm 53 years old and I'm going through a lot of perimenopause symptoms. And I've gained a massive amount of weight. I weigh as much as I did when I was pregnant with my first child, which is my highest weight ever. And now I weigh more than that. And it's extremely frustrating for me because my son's 32. I should have lost the baby weight a long time ago. But anyway, I sent Julie a picture of all the items that I had, and she gave me a plan. She said, I'm going to message you back and tell you what to take, when to take, how to take. And so honestly, I was literally stunned at how quickly I started feeling better. I within just a matter of a couple of days, I had MetaBurn, I had X Factor, I had Balance, I had Probio 5, I had Slim, I had Slim with the other one with the microbiome. I had everything. I mean, I literally had all of it in my cabinet and just didn't, some of it, I had 2 containers of it and I had no idea what to do with it. And my daughter had some items as well, and she's just had a baby. So she's done a whole bunch of other stuff, and she's, been focusing on hormonal stuff and everything. So she brought over all the things she had bought. So she had Hydrate and she had Active. And so when you guys did the Active in April, I jumped right in there because I thought, hey, if this stuff's going to work, I mean, let me just keep trying. And so Tracy suggested doing, the 3 drinks each day. And man, y'all, my energy level went through the roof. I have I've painted, I've accomplished so many tasks. I reorganized my whole pantry. Today I did my closet. I'm just like everything's getting done, and even things that I just wouldn't have normally done by myself, I've jumped in and done by myself. I'm still not jumping up at, the crack of dawn and getting out of bed, moving like I probably ought to, but all day long I have lots and lots of energy. And I did the reset during the active in April. So I guess the second week of active in April wasn't quite, I didn't have quite the energy I have right now, but I was really doing much better. The first day that I did the reset, I had a pretty bad headache. And so I really struggled with that, and finally gave in and drank a little bit of coffee that second morning. And it was a caffeinated one, but that was the only one I had during the whole thing. But it made the headache go away, so it was worth the sacrifice, I guess. And after I drank that coffee and the headache went away, I mean, my energy just went crazy. And then that third day, it was silly how energetic I was, considering how hungry I was. I couldn't believe I had all this energy to do all this stuff, and I'm running around like an Energizer bunny, and it felt so good. And so, um, I came down off of the high a little bit after the reset, but I've still had more energy than ever before. So I just placed a big order last night to replenish all the things I took over the last 7 weeks. And it's honestly been a very life-changing thing for me at this point, considering how bad I felt for January, February, and March. So the other thing that Julie wanted me to tell you about, I was looking at my phone one morning, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, and someone posted in one of her groups, I think your Fresh Start group, I think is what it was. And she commented that she'd been taking X Factor Plus, I think is what she'd been taking. And that's what I had been taking. And she said that she had stopped having night sweats because of taking it. And I mentioned earlier, I've been in this perimenopause thing. I didn't have periods in my 20s. I didn't start having periods until I went to a chiropractor when I was 35. I broke my back when I was in college, and that's why I didn't have periods. I never knew I broke my back. As weird as that sounds, I had 2 fractured vertebrae and just never knew it. And so when he did my first adjustment, it released the pressure that was on the nerves. And all of a sudden now now I'm way older than that now, but I've had regular cycles ever since, and never did, before that day. So I give him all the credit for that. But this perimenopause thing has been pretty rough, especially coupled with how I felt. And when she posted that comment, I couldn't help but think, I hadn't woken up with my head sweating once since I started taking X Factor Plus. So that was a really cool benefit to recognize. I think I'm not even really noticing that my head's sweating during the day, and that's one of the things that I really struggle with. I don't necessarily turn really red like the typical hot flash I've always seen people talk about, where they turn red and their head sweats. My head just starts sweating all of a sudden, and my hair is all wet. But I haven't been having that for the last few weeks. So one more plus that she wanted me to make sure and tell you guys about. So
Dana, I just love that. And it's such a blessing, like for us, when we get people started and to actually have them taking the products and taking them when they're supposed to, and then to hear the wins of it, it just makes us feel really good.
but
So,
this was a big win. So thank you for your help, because this was a really, really big win.
oh, I love it. And I'd asked Dana about posting. I was like, she's like, I don't really know anyone that um is in my age group that has these symptoms, but she was so sweet. She's like, I'll throw up a post about the reset. She had 200 million people comment that they were interested. So she's been following up with that. And that's just to say you never know, like, how I know it that might be a slight exaggeration, Tracy, 200 million, but it was a lot of people. And it just goes to show that as we're having this health journey and we're sharing things, that there are people out there who are struggling, who their doctors have told this is just old age, or here's a prescription for something, and they don't understand that there's a better way to be doing things. And so that's one of the reasons we encourage posting, because it helps so many people, and people you don't even realize are struggling. So do any of you guys have questions for Dana before I turn it over to Michelle? Yes, Mary Carmen. You can unmute. Yeah.
didn't want to put you on the spot, Dana. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
But I mean, would you be open at some point to do a live with me about your in my social media about your journey, or is that too
Sure.
much? 'Cause I don't want to put you on the spot, but I would love. I mean, you know how many people benefit from listening to that?
Yeah, and I think looking back, I had all these products for such a long time, and having them available to me was really big. I think the fact that I could just go in there and take all of the things that she suggested, that's going to be something that most people won't be able to do. But I can definitely tell when I've forgotten to drink one of the drinks, or and like even just the slim gives me energy, but that active drink, whoo, that active drink will really get you going in the day, won't it? But yeah, I'd be happy to talk with your group for you.
Okay, I have a question. How long did you have this stuff? Like, how long was it sitting there? This is what I want to know, because I have a lot of people that have that stuff sitting in pantries. I'm like, damn it, I too would like to introduce you to my audience because I just love it.
I probably had those products in there over a year. Some of them for sure. Yeah. And that X Factor Plus I know has been in there for a long time. So it's not anymore. The bottle's gone. I had to order more. Yeah, I won't be out of that one again.
What is your daily routine?
That's a good question. I ran out of a few things since I drank so much of it during active in April. So what I started with was a slim in the morning, first thing, and then after my breakfast. And Julie really recommended that I do 90 grams of protein every day based on the calculating thing that she told me about. And then after my breakfast, I do the MetaBurn and the X Factor. And then around 3 in the afternoon, I do another slim. And then right before dinner, I do the balance. And then I'm not able to do I've been doing the Probio 5 at night. I'm not able to do the, what is the other one? The Bio Cleanse.
Cleanse,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not able to do a lot of that one. It really causes me some serious stomach upset if I do much of that one. Julie had recommended I do that in the mornings. But if I do more than one of those a day, I really struggle with bathroom issues. And so I just do the Probio 5 and the Bio Cleanse at night before I go to bed. And those work really well for me that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then of course during the active in April, I just added in instead of doing the slim in the morning, I did the hydrate, and then I would do the slim, a little bit later, and then the active in the afternoon. My husband, I've even had him doing some of the active because he comes home from work so tired. He doesn't sleep much at night. He never needs as much sleep as I do. And so he would come home, tired, and I said, "Here, drink one of these active drinks. This should make you feel better." So he's on board with drinking those with me now. So
That's
I think it's a
awesome.
fantastic question. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, everyone, Kelly just
Well,
said
Dana,
she,
thank you so much for,
You're welcome. I lost you. I can't hear
yeah. And if you can't see the chat, they're loving you in the chat. So you might want to look through that.
you. Okay, I'll look through that. Okay.
So we appreciate you on. Michelle, I'm
Absolutely.
going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks. You guys, I hope my connection's okay. I think it kind of got wonky there at the end. So give me a wave if things start getting a little bit nuts. All of our kids are like getting ready for bed, but I'm sure some of them are still on like devices or whatever. Okay, I am here to talk to you a little bit about events and some of the things that we do as a big group. We do as a team, and they're very scheduled, so you can plug into them. And then some of the things you get to do on your own. I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about like what you should do and how you can leverage them. Okay. So who knows about our Thursday night prospect event? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you know about the Thursday night prospect. It's okay if you don't raise your hand if you don't know. That's what we're here for. Lots of hands. Okay. Every Thursday night, we have a Facebook event. It is a Facebook group, Wellness Made Simple, and it runs weekly, and it's about a 30-minute event. What we've done typically is we've had 3 live videos during that event. We talk about reset, we talk about the product, specifically triplex. We'll talk about like one other like side product. And the really great thing is that people are going live and there's a lot of interaction in those videos. And the side thing that's super fun is that we get on Zoom while that's happening, and we get to talk with each other while the event is going on. And sometimes what that looks like is us hyping somebody up before they do a live and they're feeling a little bit nervous, or it's, oh no, I can't get my video to work, help me, like panic. Sometimes it's reminders of what to do. Like that is just such a fun time. So if you are not already jumping on that Zoom, it's at 7:45 Central, right as we're starting to kick off the Facebook group. Now, who is that event for? That event is for people who have never said yes to Plexus. Maybe you've been in a conversation with them. Maybe your conversation has kind of hit that lull where you're like, I don't really know where to go next. It's kind of gone quiet. I need a next step, something small that that person can say yes to. Maybe they can get a little info. Hear some people's stories, because you guys, most of the time they don't need more facts. They just need more hope. And what these stories do is that they give hope because they're real people. Just like you heard Dana, and you're probably like, oh my gosh, all of my friends need to hear Dana. Well, we have people that talk on Thursday nights about what has given them hope, and people need to hear that. They really don't care a whole lot about what's in ProBio 5, but they need to hear that they can sleep better when they take it. So those stories, those live videos, that's the whole point. Now, this week, we're trying something a little new this month. So this week, we're going to be focusing on thyroid health. And so we're going to be having, Kelly is one of our live videos this week. She has Hashimoto, and she is going to be sharing about her journey with that. We're going to be specifically sharing the products, info, and some more testimonies from people who have thyroid issues. So that will be something. The next couple of weeks, we'll have specifically themed topics for each one. We'll have pregnancy, breastfeeding, postpartum. We'll have a family week where we talk about things that are great for the whole family. But those are the things that you can invite your prospects to. But let's say that you were helping someone share and they made a post like Dana and they got 200 million likes, okay, and comments and people wanting to know more. Would I want to wait for Thursday to come around to get them information? No, I would not. So best case scenario is that you connect with them in a message with you and your sponsor. But what a really great option would be for somebody who has some interested people is a launch event. We don't necessarily have to call it a launch event. We could call it a wellness event. And you would do a Facebook party or a messenger event specifically for that person. Let's pretend it's Dana. So then she would invite the people that had liked or commented on her post. She would invite people that she knows, people that are in her circle of influence, and then they could come get info. They're connected with her and they have that personal relationship already there. It's much more effective than putting them in a big group, okay? So launch events are perfect for people who are starting to share, who have several people that are interested and you want to get information to them pretty quickly. Those 15-minute messenger events are really good for that. One other kind of event that we don't do a ton is an in-person event. Now, who has ever done an in-person event? Raise your hand or put it in the chat. Okay, I want you to type in the chat what you loved about the in-person event, because there is definitely a place for this. And you guys, my mom was a perfect example of this. She has a lot of people that she talks to about Plexus, but really social media, like events, things like that, just not always the greatest way for her to connect with her friends. What worked out better is for her to invite people over one time when I was visiting, and we mixed up a bunch of drinks. We talked about gut health. They asked questions, I answered it. And we had a great time together. I've done those at my house before. people get in person, you get belly to belly with them, you get to hear their story, you get to answer questions. It's natural conversation. Yes. So those are really great to have, especially if you have some people that you know need some community, right? I have a few customers in my area. They don't ever get on social media, but they will come over to my house and they will sip on some new drinks. They will talk. They'll share things that they like. The last time we had one, people were like, "Oh yeah, I love mixing this and this is how I lost 20 pounds." And I was like, "What? What? When did that happen?" You hear people's story. You get belly to belly. Those are the things that people love about in-person events. If you haven't had one in a while, maybe you do that, especially as people are going to the park, people are having play dates. Grab some mom friends, grab a few sticks of active or hydrate, go to the park, let the kids play, talk a little bit about what the products have done for you, and let people sip on your drinks. Like those are some really easy things to do. Now, do I want my new sharer who's had a lot of traction on her post plan a sip and see for 3 weeks away? No, those things usually take a little bit of time. So you want to get something that is going to leverage whatever is going to fit that person's need right then. So Facebook events, wellness events, whatever you want to call them, messenger events, those are really great strategically to get people info pretty quickly, close some conversations with people that are interested. But if you have a couple of people you're talking to and you need to give them a next step, remember that Thursday night event. Go back through the conversations you've had, type in thyroid in your messenger chat and see what conversations came up that maybe you've forgotten about. Maybe you've talked to somebody 6 months ago who had thyroid issues and you forgot about it. That'll pop up in your messenger chat, and then you'll be able to remember who those people are and invite them to event Thursday night. Okay, somebody on an iPhone, I don't know who it is. What if you aren't a mom and don't have a whole lot of friends because you moved away from everyone you knew? Man, who has moved here recently? Allie and Hunter? Gosh, Kelly, I have moved so many times. I think that is a really good question. A lot of us have moved, many very recently. Oh, and then, okay, hi, Deborah. I think a Facebook event would be great because you don't have to be in the same location to do those. So either a messenger event, we've done Zooms before and they are super fun, but odds are you have people that you're connected to that live in different locations that could come together for like a Facebook wellness event, messenger event, or even a Zoom.
I'm going to add on to that, Michelle, because Deborah, I think one of the things that's so hard when you move is finding local community. And so finding a place to put yourself where you can make new relationships. I have seen friends join knitting clubs. I have seen friends join yoga studios. I have seen people find a church and join a Bible study. There's so many different options, but finding a place where you can build relationships locally and then also being purposeful to connect with those people on social media too. No matter what stage of life you're in, you're going to be in a place where you can be meeting new people. When you move, it's like definitely more high traffic, you're meeting new people, but getting used to saying, hey, are you on social media? Or hey, are you on Facebook or Instagram? And connecting that way has been really helpful for me as we've like been in a new school and been in a new church, and just getting to connect with those people. But yeah, you are in good hands, Deborah, and we can find an event for you for sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I feel like I'm like, that's all I had. So I don't know who I'm kicking it to, but I'm gonna kick it.
Okay, I will take it back. Thank you, Michelle. That's such great tips. And it's so nice to know that we have these things happening every week to invite people to. So I want to encourage you all to be talking to your people, making sure they are starting well. Those first 30 days are really important. Making sure they know, like Dana said, and just so you know, a lot of times we can share, this is how you take it, and this is when you take it, and they still won't take it. And she did come back to me and, this is how you take it. Scroll up, read what I wrote before. So, it's meeting people where they are, and to just because you've told them how to take something doesn't mean they know how to take it. So continually checking on your people because we want to serve them well. It's so fun seeing people get healthy. Any questions before we head off here tonight? All right. Well, you guys have a great evening. It's so fun being together. I love you all. Have a great night.